So far, March has been mild. That's really not a surprise given the lack of ice on Lake Erie. This is just one year though, but there are some trends that show that milder Marches may be in our future. I'm explaining in this week's Heather's Weather Wise. I've talked before about how March can be a month of extremes. That's just a product of the changing seasons. But over time, patterns can emerge showing how these transition seasons can end up being in the decades to come. Let's start with the big picture. This is a literal heat map put together by Climate Central showing where spring is warming the fastest. The desert Southwest has seen temperature rises over the past 50 years of close to 4 degrees. That warming isn't nearly as pronounced in New York State, but there is a definite trend. Specifically for Buffalo, the average temperature from March 1st through May 31st has gone up 1.3 degrees. Back in the 70s, about 40 of those 91 days were warmer than normal. Now, close to 46 days. Lake Erie is also spending less time frozen. In the 70s, Erie spent close to 85 days frozen. That's down to 65 days in the past 10 years. And this year, the lake never froze. At all. Big whoop, right? But what if that trend were to continue in the decades to come? Sure, maybe you celebrate a shorter snow season, but local farmers may not feel the same sentiment. See, the faster temperatures rise in the spring, the faster vegetation springs back into life. Data actually shows that the last freeze for Buffalo is coming about a week earlier. That means vegetation starts to blossom, but then it could be closely followed by a killing freeze, which would stunt the growing season before it really even gets a chance to begin. Even if crops do outlast that early freeze, the longer growing season can mean more days in misery for spring allergy sufferers. It also means a faster return of pests like ticks and mosquitoes. Finally, I realize that the data I just showed you only covers 50 years of the Earth's billions of years of existence, but climate models show not only a continuation of these trends, but a possible acceleration too. That's it for this week's Heather's Weather Wise. I'll see you next week with a new topic, but until then, remember it's good to be a geek.